Run for the White Sox by Andrew. Here's our Chuck.
Thanks, Connor. When I asked Andrew Vaughn today, what was the biggest takeaway for you from last season? He said getting used to the grind of a 162-game season. He had never done it before. And by August and September, he started having issues with his back. It was tightening up on him. So he had to learn how to keep his body right and through a long season. He got advice from fellow veterans. Watching Jose Abreu in the offseason, he really worked on strengthening his core to be ready for a long season ahead. Certainly gets off to a great start. First at bat, that solo home run. Guys.
Thanks, Chuck. A bouncer on the right side. This was off the foot of Bryce Ball from Wes Benjamin, the White Sox starter. But, Steve, as much as anything else, learning to play 162 in a situation like Andrew Vaughn had last year is as important as anything else.
That and the fact that, you know, there's a lot of stress when you're trying to play a new position, and where you're learning that position is in the major leagues during regular season games. I mean, he had an opportunity in the spring, and Daryl Boston worked long and hard with him to get him acclimated. But it's tough enough when you come up with all of the acclaim of a #1 draft pick, 3rd pick in the country out of Cal Berkeley, and then you have to learn a new position or 2 new positions because he played some right field also. It's not an easy thing to do.
The 1-1 to Ball. Called strike. Though dropped by Sebi Zavala there. Yeah, it's really a testament to what the organization thinks of Vaughn when they're asking a young player like that to take on as much as he did last season.
And I do know that most likely, and I'm just guessing here, but in most trade talks with the Sox, Andrew Vaughn is one of the first names mentioned as coming back the other way. But I think the Sox feel pretty good about his future. I think he's going to be in that Sox uniform, hopefully for a long time, because he is an impactful hitter. Not only is a slugger, but a guy who can go the opposite way and hit a lot of line drives. He makes very hard contact.
The 2-2 from Benjamin to Ball. Another foul, so we'll do it again. So a nice block by Sebi Zavala on the last 2-2 pitch. Athletic to get out. He's battling for the backup catcher spot. He and Zach Collins are in camp this year.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, the backup catcher spot is wide open. And barring an acquisition, it's going to come down to just a couple of guys, Sebi being one of them.
Here's 2-2. Ball swings and lifts one out to left. Dwight Smith Jr. comes on to make the play. Good break on the ball and one away. You just look at the schedule. I mean, really, just open it up and look at it, whether you got a hard copy at home or you're on the website, and you'll see games packed in. The schedule looks a lot different than it does, obviously, because of the lockout. We're going to play 162. That puts a burden on catchers, on pitchers, on everybody. But the catching situation may be top of mind, really, for every team.
I think your backup catcher has to be one of those guys that centers in on defense.
Ground ball left side. Berger's up with it. Good throw over to Sheets. Gets Levi Jordan 2 away.
There is no doubt that Yasmani Grandal can hit from both sides of the plate. And he also gives them a much-needed left-hand bat when you're facing a right-hand pitcher. That's why the #2 catcher has got to be a defensive guy. You've got to be able to catch it, call it, block it, and throw it. If you can do that, you can probably find a spot. It remains to be seen who that spot is going to go to.
First pitch low to Darius Hill. He's in right for the Cubs. Figure Wes Benjamin for about 2 innings today. There's the 1-0 pitch. And now 1-1. Yeah, teams will likely be as cautious as possible when we get to opening day here, just knowing that there's a long stretch of baseball to come, whether that's with starting pitchers, bullpen guys, catchers, that too.
Well, I think that's going to be a delicate balance. That's going to really show who can manage and who can't. Is the delicate balance of dealing with your starters. How many innings is good for them to throw? You want to protect them, especially if a guy's been hurt last year. And so you got to be very careful, because although it's very difficult to win a pennant in April, you can lose a pennant in April if one of your impactful starters goes down. And this year, with an accelerated spring training, a little over 3.5 weeks of spring training, you got to be even more careful with your pitchers, especially your younger pitchers.
Sheets will pick this one up on the foul side of the first baseline. You mentioned that change in the schedule and just how packed things look. Obviously, that opening series has changed just a bit. That was supposed to be against the Twins. That's going to move to early October. A 3-game series at Kansas City. It will now be 2 doubleheaders, May 17 and August 10. Third game scheduled for August 22nd. Some awkward scheduling, but needed stuff to play 162. Soft fly ball out to left field. Dwight Smith comes on, can't make the play, bounces in front. And that's a little Texas leaguer, or I guess Cactus leaguer.
It is indeed a Cactus leaguer.
For Darius Hill. First hit of the day for the Cubs. Second base runner, P.J. Higgins, walked back in the first. White Sox lead at 1-0 on a home run by Andrew Vaughn. This will bring up the 8-hitter, Kevin Made. He's the shortstop.
We're supposed to start the season at home. Now we're starting it in Detroit. We're supposed to end the season in San Diego. Now we're ending it at home, which is always a good thing, especially if they're meaningful games. You just as soon end it at home. And not against a team that everybody thinks is going to be pretty good with San Diego. So I like the modifications. I like the split double headers. And that August 22nd was a mutual off day that will be filled in, and we'll go there from somewhere.
First pitch to Made after a pickoff move, called strike 0-1. And this year's schedule looks different, and next year's will look different as well. We'll play it a little bit differently in 23.
Yeah, we'll talk a lot about the balanced schedule going forward. Now, this is an unbalanced schedule, which means you play everybody in your division 18 or 19 times. But next year, not only will we only go 2 trips to each city, but something else in store for the fans especially, and that is we're going to play every team in baseball. So every other year, you're going to get a home series with some of the great players from the National League. You're going to see them. The Sox will see every team every year. I'm very much in favor of that because, some of the stars coming in, you get to see the Dodgers in a home series. That's going to be wonderful. It used to be once every 6 years that you would see these teams because you have a 3-year rotation. This year's going to be the West, and that's gone. Now, every team, every year, home and away, every other year. And so it's going to be, in 2 years, you're going to see every team home and away.
Benjamin comes home to Made. Downstairs, check swing, went around. So 1-2 now.
That's Jim Wolf calling that play at first base.
Our umpire assignments all set and ready to go down on the page.
You can always tell Jim Wolf because, number one, he's always in great shape, and number two, he throws as well as just about any of the pitchers out there.
Is that right?
Yeah, his brother is a major league pitcher, and I think Jim played a whole lot of baseball in his time.
Here's the 1-2.
Ooh, that's a pretty good pitch. I think that Alfonso probably during the season will call that a strike, only because it was.
Take a look again.
Yeah.
Here's Benjamin. He wanted it. So did Sebi. Did a good job trying to pull it back up into the strike zone if it needed it. So the count runs 2-2. Hill away from first. Here's the pitch. Gets underneath the legs of Sebi Zavala. Down to second base goes Darius Hill. 2 away in the inning, though, and really all Benjamin's got to do is deal with Kevin Made, the 8-hitter. Well, we mentioned the balanced schedule that's coming next season in Major League Baseball. Some changes for this year, though we're playing 7 innings today. Doubleheaders will not be 7 innings this season. We did that last year, and everybody decided, we're good. Let's play all 9.
That's going to wear down some pitching staffs, but I think there's going to be a change, if I were to guess.
Ground ball left side, and that's past a diving Jake Berger. Hill comes around third as Smith drops it in the outfield while trying to pick it up. The Cubs tie things up with an RBI single from Kevin Made, so it's 1-1.
Okay, so here's a classic illustration how a game is won or lost 90 feet at a time. That was a low pitch that Sebi should have blocked before this. By not blocking it, the runner advanced to second base. Now, you can't do anything about missed calls, but The next ball winds up in left field. The Cubs go on to tie it up. If Sebi blocks that ball, probably going to be first and second, 2 outs, still a 1-0 game. And again, you either give up 90 feet or you take 90 feet, and sometimes that's the difference in victories and defeats.
Called strike to DJ Artis, the 9-hitter. White Sox will put the shift on the infield. Romy Gonzalez, the shortstop, playing just shaded to the left side of second base, but Jake Berger's pretty much the only guy on the left side of the infield. Mate away from first. 1-1 here at Camelback Ranch. Benjamin set at the belt. The 0-1 pitch is a called strike, so now 0-2 to the 9-hitter Artis. Sox are looking to be a little bit more fundamentally sound this season. Tony La Russa has talked quite a bit about that as camp has gotten going. The pass ball to Sebi Zavala, part of the effort. Line drive out to right. It freezes Vaughn, but he will then put it away by a good recovery step. And the White Sox are out of the inning, having given up 1 on an RBI single. Back to the bottom of the second here on NBC Sports Chicago.
Nice day.